Hello, welcome to your Foundational Flow, your beginner's yoga practice. I'm excited that you're here. If you can hear me, if the audio is coming through okay, go ahead and put in the chat and let me know where you're from. Welcome, Raphael, your daily yoga practice. Let me know from Mexico. And okay, Brittany's from Florida, Cheryl is from Maine, Chloe from Australia. All right, so I'm excited to Noah from Washington. It's great to have you here. That's where I started my yoga journey, was in Washington a long time ago. I started at a gym in Tacoma, Washington. We have Tucson, Arizona. Welcome. If you have any special requests for the practice today, go ahead and put that in the chat. A special request can be anything working on a specific pose that you're passionate about right now. Maybe you want to work on strengthening or opening a certain part of your body. If that's the case, go ahead and put it into the chat. We are doing a Vinyasa Flow practice, a foundational Vinyasa Flow, so we will be moving quite actively throughout this practice, at some points moving one breath, one movement, and flowing that way. If you've ever taken Vinyasa before, go ahead and put in the chat. Let me know if you're new to the practice, if you've been practicing for a long time. This is a beginner's practice, but really it can be all levels. Even if you've been practicing for many, many years, going back to the foundation is always a great thing. So let me know where you're from and also what your experience is with Vinyasa. Ashley, it's always great to have you here as well. Welcome to your flow today. So this is a 45-minute practice, and all right, Maggie, you're pretty new to the practice. Good. So there's many different traditions, and Vinyasa is one of the more active traditions. Beyond this, there's also Ashtanga yoga, and that's a very active practice as well. So we can go from restorative, where we're not moving hardly at all. Maybe you go through a few poses in an hour class, to Vinyasa, where you're going through sometimes 50 to 100 poses throughout the hour, where you're flowing one breath to one movement. So it is a more active type of practice. We will be flowing, but I'll also warm you up nice and slow and then cool you down nice and slow as well, giving you some time in Shavasana. And Shavasana is our resting point at the end of our yoga practice, where we can come onto the mat and just relax for a little bit. I'm having some signals saying that my audio is disconnected. If you can hear me, go ahead and put that in the chat so I know that the audio is here and that you can hear. It's telling me that my audio is disconnected for some reason. So if you can hear me, let me know. And then we'll go ahead and move forward. So if anybody can hear me, put it in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to assume that it's not there. All right, Raphael says you can hear. Maggie says, yep, you can hear. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm not sure why it was saying poor connection there for a moment, but so our plan for today is to warm you up nice and slow, build you up to a peak, and then we'll start to cool you down nice and slow as well. Let's go ahead and get started. We'll start our practice today in child's pose. To come into child's pose, you'll sit your hips onto your heels, let your big toes touch. Separate your knees out to the outer edges of your mat for today, and then begin to walk your hands forward. Place your forehead, tip of your nose onto the mat, and then bend your elbows, placing your hands in prayer position at the back of your head. Good. As you come into your child's pose, use this opportunity to connect into the practice. And fully arriving into your practice today, letting go of any outside disturbances, and focusing solely on your breath and the sensations that you feel within your body. Our mind can really only focus on one thing at a time. And so if you notice that your mind starts to wander to outside thoughts, outside things, recenter it, bringing it back into focus on the breath or your body. Begin to cultivate your yoga breath now, drawing the air in through your nose. Fill your lungs all the way up, top to bottom, side to side, and front to back. Good. As you exhale out completely. Release out carbon dioxide, toxins, and negative energy. Inhale, bring a big breath in.
And drawing in oxygen, prana, life force, filling every cell, every atom within your body. Then as you exhale, release out. Releasing out anything that no longer serves you, creating space for something new. Another big breath in. Taking the biggest breath you have all day, holding it at the top. As you exhale, exhale out through your nose. Typically in our yoga practice, we have our mouth sealed the entire time. Continue with these breaths, inhaling and exhaling through your nose. So we typically have our mouth sealed the entire practice, and our breath sounds like the ocean. And see if you can turn the volume up on your breath, almost like a Darth Vader breath, where you have a slight constriction through your throat. And we'll take 2 more full deep breaths here. And bring your hands back forward. Root down through your hands and rise up, tabletop. As you come into tabletop, stack your hands directly underneath of your shoulders, knees come directly underneath of your hips. Pull the crown of your head forward, slightly tuck your chin in. Feel stability as you're rooted down through the ground and pulling your shoulder blades into your back. Knees are directly underneath of your hips. Tops of your feet are onto your mat. As you inhale, allow for your head and hips to go high and your belly to sway down. Exhale, round in. Bring your chin into your chest. Energetically push your hands into the earth. Coil through your spine. Inhale, head and hips go high. Your belly sways down. But we'll do this a couple more times. Go your own breath, your own pace. Our cat and cow prepares us as we begin to flow through our practice. It'll help you to get the breath-body connection, helping you to move one breath, one movement. It's also good to put the adrenals back into a natural state, letting go of flight, fight, collapse response in the body. And getting some of those psychological benefits. All right, make your way back into a neutral tabletop. Neutral tabletop, keep your left hand plugged into the earth. Extend your right hand forward, pinkies down, thumbs up, biceps by your ear. Extend your left leg back behind. Flex the toes of your left foot in towards your nose. Roll your outer left thigh down, inner left thigh up, and reach for both horizons. This is challenging. You can always just build your practice, let it be progressive by keeping the back foot down onto the ground. If you want more of a challenge, connect your right elbow, left knee underneath your body, round it in. Inhale, find your length, reach. Exhale, connect together, elbow to knee underneath of your body. Good, feel your core begin to wake up. One last time here, elbow to knee underneath of your body. Inhale, lengthen and reach. Exhale, release it down. Right hand comes down, left knee comes down onto your mat. Move into your second side. Keep your right hand rooted down. Send your left fingertips forward, and pinkies down, thumbs up, and your biceps by your ear. Send your right leg back behind. Flex the toes in towards your nose. You're pushing through your heel actively, reaching for both horizons as if you can touch both at the same time. Connect your left elbow, right knee underneath of your body. Round it in. Good. Inhale, lengthen and reach. Are you feeling your core wake up? Connect your elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen and reach. Last one here. And connect elbow to knee underneath of your body. Beautiful. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release your left hand down, right knee comes down onto your mat. Let's make our way into a plank pose here. So plank pose, step your left foot back, tuck the toes under, followed by the right. So when we come into plank, we always have choices. We can modify by coming down onto our knees for plank pose. We can also intensify by coming up onto the tiptoes. And choose the one that's right for you. Send your hips high, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, you look like an upside down V shape. This posture looks pretty easy, but as we hold it, it starts to get a little bit more challenging. You'll be in this pose quite a bit, so we'll learn the foundations of it. Hands are rooted down about shoulder distance apart. The heels, they can be lifted up off of the ground. Your knees can even be bent to nurture through your hamstrings. Over time, the heels will come closer and closer down towards the earth. When your chest is pushing back towards your thighs, we're energetically pushing our hands into the earth and away from the ground. Send your right leg up towards the sky, find the length. So bring your right knee your right heel rather to your left glute. Your right knee's coming up towards the sky. Keep both shoulders rooted down and then roll your ankle going clockwise and counterclockwise. And taking a couple of circles both directions. Inhale, lift your right leg up towards the sky. Now step your right foot to your right thumb. Left knee comes down onto your mat. As you inhale, bring your hands up overhead, connect your palms, push your hips forward. You're in a little bit of a back bend here. Gaze can come up towards the sky. Biceps are with or behind the ears. Just play around with your hips, just easing in and out. And take another breath here. And exhale, release your hands on either side of your right foot. And then begin to hinge forwards and backwards, forwards and backwards. Checking in with your hamstring, your hips, your Achilles tendons. Feels so good, just gentle movement starting to wake up the body. Hinge your way back forward and plant your left hand now to the inside of your right foot. Twist and open towards your right side. Gaze is up towards your right hand. And twists are beneficial for our internal organs. It's also beneficial for your spine. Release your right hand down. And tuck the toes of your left foot. Send your right foot back, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, time to go into the second side. Inhale, left leg, reach it up towards the sky, find the length. Bring your left heel to your right glute, roll your ankle, going clockwise and counterclockwise once again. Inhale, lengthen it up. Exhale, step it through. Left foot comes down onto your mat. Inhale, hands come up overhead, loop your thumbs, your palms are in prayer position. Gaze is coming up towards the sky, biceps are with or behind your ears. Push your hips forward, just easing in and out. Noticing where the edge is within your pose, not exceeding the edge. Just playing around with it. On the exhale, release your right hand down to the inside of your left foot. Twist and open towards the left side. Gaze is up towards your left hand. Breathe and know that you're getting benefits. And release your left hand down onto your mat. Step your right foot forward. I lost my earbud. Step your right foot forward and to meet the left top of your mat. Have your feet about hip distance apart. So about the length of a dollar bill or even wider. Bend your knees a whole lot. Place your stomach onto your thighs and grab onto opposite elbows. Sway, letting your head be heavy. Gaze is towards the horizon behind you. So allowing all your troubles, all your worries to drip off your shoulders onto your mat, back into the arms of the divine. Letting go of all that we can't control. Release your right hand down directly underneath of your face. Twist and open towards the left. Your right leg is bent, your left leg is straight. Maybe you're feeling this in your IT band, in the outer left leg. Release your left hand down. Twist and open now towards the right. Gaze is up towards your right hand. Left leg is bent. Roll your right shoulder back. And exhale, release your right hand down. Heel toe your feet together. Big toe mounds are connected. Inhale, halfway lift to lengthen up through your spine. Good. Exhale, hinge at your hips, fold forward. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, release it down, forward fold. Ground down through your feet, drop your hips, circle, sweep your hands up overhead, upward salute. Exhale, hands come down by your sides. Bring your hands into Namaskar, into heart center. Have a slight tuck of your chin, slight smile on your face. This is your opportunity to set your dedication or your intention for your practice today. This is where we get to show up for ourselves. And continue to go through your practice. Staying here from the first breath to the last breath. And show up for you. Inhale, bring your hands up overhead, reach up. Good. Exhale, baby back bend. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Your arms are in like a W type shape. Inhale, hands come up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Hands come all the way down to the ground, earth touch. Inhale, halfway lift. Have a flat back. Your hands can be hovering into space. They can be onto your shins. They can even be onto your thighs. When you come into your halfway lift, engage your core, pulling your navel into your spine and then up into your ribs as if you could. And then lengthen by pulling the crown of your head towards the wall in front of you. Good, exhale, fold forward. Plant your hands down onto the mat and step your right foot back. Followed by the left, plank pose. Check in with your hands. Your hands are firmly rooted down into the ground. And at the same time, you're lifting your shoulders and your heart center away from the ground as much as you can. Now come forward, either coming into your plank or kneeling plank. Lower all the way down to the ground. Belly, chest, chin. Release it all the way down. Hands come underneath of your shoulders, so the tips of your fingers are at the heads of your shoulders. Squeeze your elbows together. Lengthen through your spine. Good, now start to peel your chest up off of your mat. This is more of a lift up than a push up, so we should be able to move the hands and not lose any of the height. See if you can come up just a little bit more. And squeeze your legs together. Legs are fully activated. Tops of your feet are pushing down into the ground. Can you lift up another inch? Good, exhale, release it down. Hoist yourself back into plank pose. Plank, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, we'll flow through this a couple more times, turning up the speed just a bit. Inhale, heels high, exhale, knees low. Look between your hands. Make your way to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold, release it down. And drop your hips, circle, sweep your hands up overhead, reach up. Beautiful. Exhale, baby back bend, shine your heart. Feel luminous. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, fold forward. Hands come all the way down to the ground, earth touch. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. You can hop, step, or float back into your plank. If you're hopping back, land it low and chaturanga though. Exhale, lower down, belly, chest, and chin. Release it all the way down to the ground. Good, inhale, baby cobra. Peel your chest up off of the mat. Continue to root your feet down into the ground. Good, breathe here. Squeeze your elbows more together and see if you can find length in the back of your neck. Hoist it back, plank pose. Plank, downward facing dog. We're going through this one more time. Inhale, heels high. Exhale, knees low. Look between your hands, hop, step, or float. Make your way to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Drop your hips, circle, sweep your hands up overhead, big circle sweep up. Moving with your breath, exhale, baby back bend. W through your arms. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands come through third eye, through heart center, all the way down to Mother Earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, hop, step, or flow back. Good, lower down, belly, chest, and chin. Inhale, baby cobra. Now, as we come into baby cobra, we can stay in baby cobra, still working on building the strength of the body. We can also come into our upward facing dog. If you move into upward facing dog, only thing onto the mat are tops of the feet and the hands. So you can choose baby cobra as we go through this flow, or you can choose upward facing dog. Upward facing dog, the arms are straight. Chest is pushing through the gate of the arms. Tops of the feet are still onto the ground. And our chest is open towards the horizon. Thighs are lifted. Wherever you're at, make your way back, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, take 3 full deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. Good, one more. Big breath in. Just remember you're a divine being of love, light, and complexity. Take your oxygen. Inhale, heels high. Exhale, knees low. Look between your hands. Hop, step, or float to the top. Listen for the pattern change. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. People either love chair or hate it. It's got lots of benefits. It makes your legs stronger, makes your booty perkier, gives you more perseverance. Continue to root down through your heels. Look and see if you can see your toes. If you can't see your toes, push your booty towards the wall behind you. Slight tuck of your tailbone and slight lift of your pubic bone. Shoulders are pulling back and down actively as much as we're sparking through our fingers, activating every cell within the body. And feel alive. And hold it here. See if you can sit 2 inches deeper. You're stronger than you think you are. Exhale, fold forward. Hands come down to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, half step or float back. Good, lower it down. Inhale, baby cobra or upward facing dog. Make your choice. Exhale, hips go high, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, inhale. Lift your right leg up towards the sky, find length. Good, now step your right foot to your right thumb. We're moving into warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. Right foot's rooted down. You'll plant your back foot onto your mat at a 45-degree angle. Build the foundation first. Once you have the foundation, then rise. Hands come up overhead. And sparking through your hands. Spread your fingers really wide. Gaze is forward. Maybe you have a slight upward tick on each of your lips. Find your breath. Release your hands down. Frame your right foot. Step your right foot back to meet your left. You can go through your Vinyasa Flow. You can also meet in downward facing dog. If you're going through your flow, reach it forward, plank or kneeling plank, lower it down. Inhale, baby cobra or up dog. Exhale, hips go high, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, directly into the second side. Inhale, left leg, reach it up. Exhale, step it through. Build your foundation, back foot's rooted down, 45-degree angle. Left knee is directly over your left ankle. Inhale, rise up. Can you energetically pull your right hip forward, left hip back? Theoretically, the hips are squared to the top of the mat. It doesn't mean it always happens, but in theory, they're squared to the top of the mat. Shoulders are directly over your hips. Your shoulders are pulling back and down as much as your hands are reaching up. And remember, show up for yourself. Be present within this pose. How we show up onto our mat is how we show up into the world. Be courageous and stay here. Release your hands down. Frame your left foot. Step your left foot back to meet your right. Option to flow or come into downward facing dog. Both are best. Take your journey. Allow for your yoga to meet you where you're at. Downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg reaches up. Exhale, step it through. Warrior one, once again, plant your feet and inhale, rise. Warrior one directly into warrior two. In your warrior two, you'll take a wider stance by pushing your left pinky side of your foot into your mat. Once your feet and your legs are into place, bring your arms parallel with the ground. Gaze is over your right fingertips. Squeeze your shoulders back and down. And flip the palm of your right hand, reach it forward, reverse your warrior. Right arm comes up towards the sky. Bend into your right leg. The tendency is that we want to come out of the lunge, but recommit into it. And find your right elbow to your right knee. Left arm comes up towards the sky. Arms are at 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock. Your chin is tucked into your shoulder. Now, I know this is a beginner class, but I'm going to give you something to play around with today. We'll come into a bind if you like. You can bring your left hand back behind, right hand underneath. Just see if you can close the circuit within the hands. You're reaching fingertip to fingertip. This is where a strap comes in handy. If you don't have a yoga strap, a washcloth works as well. Slowly begin to release it out. Hands are at 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock again. Good. And now reverse your warrior. Right arm comes up towards the sky. Breathe into your ribs. You exhale, cartwheel hands down to your mat. Step your right foot back to meet your left. Flow or meet into downward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Take a few deep breaths here. Use your breath to slow the heart rate down if needed. Inhale, left leg reaches up. Exhale, step it through. Warrior one. Warrior one, rise. Open up, warrior two. And take a wider stance in your warrior two. Push to the right side, the pinky side of your right foot. Arms are at 6 o'clock, or arms are reaching opposite horizons. Flip the palm of your left hand, reach, reverse. Your right hand can be down your right thigh or even into the small of your back. Side angle. Bring your left elbow to your left knee. Right arm comes up. But as you come into your side angle, once again, you can take that bind if you like. To take the bind, the right hand comes to the small of your back. Left hand comes underneath, and then we close the grip of the hands. Gaze is up towards your right shoulder, past your right shoulder, up towards the sky. Breathe into it, binds. And slowly begin to release out. Arms come to 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock, coming back into your side angle. Side angle reverse. Left arm comes up towards the sky. Beautiful. Cartwheel hands down to your mat. Step your left foot back to meet the right. Your choice. You can either flow it out or meet into downward facing dog. If you're flowing, lower down. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, push it back, down dog. And downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg reaches up. Exhale, step it through, warrior one. Warrior one, moving directly into your warrior two, going one breath, one movement. Flip the palm of your right hand, reach and reverse. Good side angle, right elbow to your right knee. Left arm comes up towards the sky. From here, straighten your right leg out some, moving into triangle. The important part to remember in this practice is lift up through your kneecap and then energetically pull your heels close together. And roll your left shoulder back, right shoulder forward. Breathe into it. And reverse your warrior. Right arm comes up towards the sky. Good. Exhale, cartwheel hands down to your mat. Step your right foot back to meet the left, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, go into your second side. Inhale, left leg reaches up. Exhale, step it through. Warrior one, hands come up overhead. Flow it out, warrior two. Flip the palm of your left hand, reach, reverse your warrior. Gaze is up towards your left hand. Now exhale, left elbow to your left knee, right arm comes up towards the sky. Roll your right shoulder back, left shoulder forward. Move into your triangle pose, straighten your left leg out. Lift up through your kneecap on the left side, energetically pull your heels close together. So we're just energetically pulling them together, they're not physically moving. Reverse your warrior, left arm comes up. Flow with your breath, exhale, cartwheel hands down to your mat. Step your left foot back to meet the right, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, I invite you to come into a child's pose. Sit your hips onto your heels, and then release down, placing your forehead onto your mat. We're gonna take a few breaths. Reconnecting. All right, downward facing dog. As you come into your downward facing dog, bring your right knee to the outside of your right wrist. Just allow for your shin to fall where it's at. Tuck the toes of your left foot, tucking the toes of your left foot onto your mat, lift up through your left knee, then release your left knee down, release the top of your left foot down. Then square off, facing towards the top of your mat, lengthen up through your spine. As you exhale, hinge at your hips and fold forward. You can place your forehead onto your mat. You can also stack your fists. Finding this quiet surrender time. Notice if you feel any pain or pressure in your right knee. If you're feeling that, bring your heel closer into your groin. So in our vinyasa practice, we start out nice and slow, connecting breath and movement. And then we find ourselves moving one breath, one movement for an intentional reason, bringing heat into the body. And then towards the last third of the class, we slow it down. But in order to stretch through the muscles, we need the muscles heated up. And to safely do that, we're flowing, creating heat intentionally. Bring your hands underneath of your shoulders, start to rise. Bring your right heel closer into your groin. And then bring your right knee so that your right knee and your right hip are facing one stacked towards each other. So if there's a mirror in front of you, they would be one straight line.
Bring your left heel into your glute and just stretch. So feeling the stretch through your quadricep on your left leg. Now, if this is difficult, you can always use a strap, hooking a strap around your foot. That'll make it a little bit more accessible. We're stretching through the quadricep, the big muscle on top of your left leg. Slowly begin to just bring your heel closer in towards your glute. And just stopping where it feels like you're getting sensation where you're coming to the edge. Slowly release out. Sit onto your glutes. Your left leg is out long. Your right leg comes into your inseam. And bring your hands up overhead. And bring your left arm to the inside of your left thigh. Right arm rainbows up and over. Pull your right shoulder back some. Left shoulder forward some. And breathe into your ribs on your right side. Inhale, rise up. Plant your right hand onto the ground at your right hip. And then inhale, lift up. Shine your heart up towards the sky. You're reaching from your fingertips to your toes on the left. Breathe into it. Exhale, release down. And find your downward facing dog once again. And take your time coming into downward facing dog. This is the last time we'll be here within the practice. So if you want to pedal out your feet, just feeling that deep stretch through your hamstrings, your calves, now that your body's warmed up, do that. Feels so good. Bring your left knee now to the outside of your left wrist, just allowing the shin to fall where it lands. Take a look back at your right leg. Tuck your toes under, lift up through your right knee. Then release your right knee down, release the top of your right foot down. Square your hips to the top of your mat. Then lengthen up through your spine. Big breath in. And as you exhale, release it down. Placing your forehead either onto your mat, your stacked fists, or your forearms. See if you can allow for your body to surrender into this pose. Noticing the sensations that arise. And letting them pass by. Not giving them a second thought. Viewing them as no more substantial than the clouds in the sky. Bring your hands under your shoulders, rise up. Bring your left heel closer into your groin. Shift so that your left knee and your right hip are in one straight line. Plant your left hand directly underneath of your face. This time bring your right heel closer into your glute. So as you're bringing your right heel closer into the glute, if that's difficult, use a strap or even a belt around your foot to bring the foot in. We want to grab onto the foot from the arch side. This will get an external rotation through your right shoulder. If you're holding it from the other side, it internally rotates the shoulders, so it's important that we're holding it from the arch side. Breathe into the stretch that you get through your quadricep on the right side. Slowly begin to release out. Sit onto your glutes. Your right leg's out long, your left leg comes into your inseam. As you inhale, bring your hands up overhead. As you exhale, bring your right arm to the inside of your right thigh, left arm rainbows up and over. Pull your right shoulder forward some, left shoulder back some. And next breath brings you up. Plant your left hand onto your mat at your left hip. As you inhale, rise. And just feel the stretch, feel luminous. Exhale, release it down. Send both legs out wide. Bring your hands behind your back, lengthen up. But if this is feeling right, if this is feeling like effort, if it's feeling good here, you're getting sensation, stay. So our practice is progressive. We always want to just be where we're at within the pose, not trying to be somewhere that we don't need to be right now. So if this is feeling like sensation, stay here. The other option is to start slowly bringing your belly closer down towards the mat. And then stop and pause where you feel sensation within the pose. And keep breathing. Good. Inhale, rise up. Now unite your soles and allow for your knees to come down towards the earth. You can have your heels as close into your groin as you like, or as far away as you like. You can cup your feet from underneath, lengthen up through your spine. But once again, if you want more sensation, start to hinge it forward, keeping your back straight, your chin away from your chest. If you notice that your spine is rounding, give yourself permission to ease out some, realign, lengthen through your spine, and then exhale, hinge into it even deeper. Now we're here for just a couple more breaths. Inhale, rise up. Go ahead and send your feet forward towards the top of your mat. Give your legs a little bit of a wiggle and a shake. And now we're moving into a fish pose. Bring your hands underneath of your glutes. Your fingers are pointed the same direction as the toes. Now over-exaggerate your toes pointing towards the top of your mat. Lower down onto your forearms. Lift up, arch through your chest. Release your head back and down if it feels okay on your neck. Breathing directly into your heart chakra, allowing your compassion, your kindness to expand. Breathing directly into your throat chakra. And continue breathing into it. And release all the way down onto your mat. And letting your head come onto your mat, your spine come onto your mat, and the backs of your shoulders. Now send your feet up towards the sky, moving into one of my favorite poses, legs up the wall. I love this pose because it has a lot of benefits for it, but it's not really exciting. It's kind of like eating kale. We do it because we know it's good for us. So our legs up the wall is very similar to that. It's good for cardiovascular health. It helps your heart to pump the blood better. It's good for your immune system. We have lymph within our body, and that lymph, it doesn't move around. It doesn't have a valve, pump valve like our heart does in our circulatory system where it pumps the blood around. So when we come into these inversions, it moves the lymph into a different direction, which helps us just to build our immunity. So coming into our legs up the wall every day has a lot of benefits. It's also good for varicose veins and insomnia. So if you can do one pose a day, this is one I recommend. Let's move into happy baby. Bring your knees to the shoulders. Grab onto your feet from the arch sides and then rock from side to side. Massaging your spine, the muscles around your spine. We worked so hard today. We enjoyed it, just feel good, to be happy. Rocking it out side to side. Now you can straighten your right leg. Bend your right leg back in. You can straighten your left leg. Bend your left leg back in. Maybe extend both legs out wide. Release your left leg down. Bring your right knee into your right shoulder. Interlace your fingers around your shin. Flex the toes of your left foot and towards your nose. Anchor both hips and both shoulders onto your mat. Squeeze your right leg in. Squeeze in so tight. And feel the pinch through your hip. Once again, this is another posture good for our internal organs. It's putting pressure on the internal organs, kind of creating a tourniquet effect, and then we release out and things begin to flow again. Release your grip just enough to cross your right leg up and over the left side of your body. Your gaze goes over to the right. Your knee comes over to the left. Yogis say that this posture wrings out any tension within the body. And slowly begin to unwind. Bring your right leg back up and over. And squeeze your right knee into your right shoulder. Feel the pinch. But now release your right leg down. Allow for your heels to touch your toes to fall open. Invite your left leg in. Bring your knee into your shoulder. Taking the counterintuitive grip this time. I'm changing the pinky that's on the top.
Squeeze your left knee in, squeeze in so tight, feel the pinch. Using the strength of your biceps, your triceps, squeeze in even tighter. Now release your left hand down. Use your right hand to guide your left leg up and over. Your knee comes over to the right as your gaze comes over to the left. And surrender into the pose. Allow gravity to take hold. No effort, all ease. As begin to unwind, bring your left leg back up and over. Squeeze your left knee into your left shoulder, squeeze and tight. Now release your grip just enough to invite your right leg in to meet the left, grabbing onto opposite wrists, forearms, or elbows, squeeze in. Good. Place the back of your head onto your mat. Your gaze comes to the diamond pocket of light between your arms and your legs. Send your feet up towards the sky, flex your toes towards your nose. A little bit of abs before we go into our final Shavasana. Root your hands down onto your mat. Keep your core engaged, your spine flat onto your mat, and then lower your legs down slower than you want to go, releasing them all the way down to the mat. Keep your core strong, keep your spine protected. Release your hands, release your legs. Make your way into your final Shavasana, into your resting pose. You give yourself this time to surrender to be. And finding that intersect between your heart and your soul where joy is. Your awareness drifted, bring it back. And bring yourself back into this time and space. And when you're ready, roll over onto the side of your choice, moving into a fetal position. Allow for your arms to serve as a pillow, your knees to draw in close. And take a few more breaths here, allowing for your blood pressure to level back out. And slower than you want to go. Rise back up into a seated position, keeping your eyes closed or downcast. Bring your hands into Namaskar, into Heart Center. A slight tuck of your chin, slight smile on your face. Bring your awareness back to the intention that you set for your practice today, whatever that intention was. And stating this intention 3 times, and 3 times as though it's present truth. Thank you for showing up today, for creating space in your own body, your own mind, your own soul. And thank you for joining me in breath and in movement, beyond space. And when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes, and coming back into the space that you're in. Thank you for showing up, for flowing. I know it's not always easy to show up for your yoga practice, and
one of the difficult things about practicing at home is a teacher's not there and you can just turn it off whenever you want, or not give your all. But you've made it to the end and you're here. You worked hard. You created space in your mind, your body, made it through final Shavasana even. So just want to thank you for showing up. Thank you for your kindness. I know when I practice yoga, I, just have more capacity to show up for myself, more capacity to show up for my students, more capacity to show up for my family. And you're doing that. And, I see you and I recognize you. And I just want to say thank you for, being one of the beings in the world that is raising your vibration. Because when we raise our vibration, we are the best that we can be, that allows us to show up into the world differently. Cheryl, thank you so much for showing up, and thank you for the donations. It means a lot to me. Just having the donations helps to keep the platform going, and the donations go to the platform. It helps the platform and the app to continue to be here for you. And it also helps me. Half of those donations go to me, my family. I have a 2-year-old little boy. He is the sweetest little guy. He likes to do down dog now. That's his new trick that he's been doing. He's done 14 yoga teacher trainings with me. I did yoga teacher trainings when I was pregnant with him and also after. So he's been right here doing yoga with me. Maybe we'll have a family yoga sometime. Also have a 13-year-old daughter, and believe it or not, she's the sweetest can be too. So blessed with my family, and your donations directly, just impact us and bless us. So if you have donation money, then by all means give, because the platform is just an amazing place that we can unite, and it makes a difference in our lives as well. But if you don't donate, I totally understand. A lot of people are having a hard time right now. So if that's you, I totally get it. I just want to congratulate you for showing up and, breathing through the hard times. I'm breathing through these hard times with you as well. Barb, thank you so much for showing up. And I look forward to connecting with each of you again. Hopefully we can connect very soon. If you have any requests, go ahead and inbox me. I read all of those messages and also try to respond to them. So you can inbox me and I'll get that. But I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your week if I don't see you again. If you're looking for a more gentle class, I'll be here tomorrow. That class is a yin class. It's very restorative, very gentle. We'll be on the mat the entire time. There's no flowing. On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I do a more active practice. So if this was too fast for you, I get it. There's a practice for everybody. I didn't like restorative or yin for a very long time. It was way too slow for me. I loved Ashtanga. I loved Vinyasa, still do. So if this was too much heat, then try a different style of yoga. Vinyasa Flow is a more active practice. This is a beginner Vinyasa Flow practice. And we just turn up the heat from here. So if you are looking for a more of a challenge, join me on Friday, and we'll be turning up the spice on Friday and probably throwing in some arm balances and inversions, balancing poses in there. So there's a yoga practice for everybody. If you haven't found the practice that's for you yet, just keep trying different teachers, keep trying different classes, and you'll connect with one sometime. So once again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for showing up for you. Thank you for breathing and moving together and with the rest of the yogis. I appreciate the donations. I appreciate your generosity with not just your money, but also with your time. I look forward to connecting with you again soon, and we'll have a great evening, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.